Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I hope you can't hear them seagulls behind me, but I'm delighted to be joined by Lisa Whiteside. Lisa, first and foremost, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, ready to go.
I bet you are, because press conference there was touched upon. You've been at the ring for 3 years. You've had a little boy now. You said he's your own little world title. So how's that been?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, best time of my life. Obviously, he's 18 months old now. I should have been back last year, but unfortunately, I got hit with the lovely shoulder injury, had operation, but got back from that. Obviously, rehab, strengthened it up, and raring to go now.
Raring to go. Talk to me about then. Obviously, 3 years out the ring is a long time for any fighter, but you've had some great sparring. Obviously, your amateur pedigree speaks for itself. So, how itchy are those knuckles? How itchy are they to land on somebody's face?
I've been wanting to box for a good few months, but I've just been waiting for that fight date. So we've been like in and out of camp, but we've done absolutely loads of rounds of sparrings and different opponents. You know, world champions to obviously fast and sharp girls and the likes of Molly, McCann. And,
I'll touch on that.
You know, so I've literally had a range of different weights, experiences, and every spar's, you know, I've come out happy as anything, and knowing that, because you're always going to question it, aren't you? 3 years out, have you still got it? And I think all the rounds of sparring has just given me that, you know, that confidence to know that I can get in there and I can perform well.
When I speak to some fighters that have been out the ring for so long, some say they believe in ring rust, some say, oh, ring rust, if you have good sparring then there's no such thing as ring rust. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like with the sparring that you've had that we won't see any ring rust in there on Saturday night?
I'm hoping not so, you know what I mean, but I've got an 8-rounder, so it's good that, you know, if it takes me a couple of rounds to get into it, but hopefully not. Obviously, Mick, my coach, we've been working really well, and he'll have me warm, fired up and ready to go from round one. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I can get in there. Like you say, I couldn't even tell you the amount of rounds I've done sparring. I've done a lot, and so I'm hoping that's going to put me in good stead, and I'll be firing on all cylinders straight away. Andy
Clark touched upon it as well, that super bantamweight division, not just at world level, but here in the UK with Ellie Scott and Ebony Bridges and the likes. It's a dangerous division in terms of just the people here in the UK. Obviously, Ebony Bridges is Australian, but she's trained by Mark Tebb, so she's based out here. So, again, a year down the line, maybe you could be in line for these girls, because you spoke about winning a world title to bring back to your little boy, so it's going to be a tough task and a tough journey for you to get that world title, isn't it?
Yeah, we've obviously Probellum, they've said, and obviously SGM Boxing managers, they're going to try and get me in the best route possible, you know, and fast track me as quickly as possible. I'm happy to box anybody, whenever and whoever, you know. I want to box the best to be the best. I don't want any easy routes or anything like that. I'm happy to just go in there, bantam, super bantam. Obviously I've come back, I'm super bantam at this fight, comfortable, happy, strong. I've got a good opponent as well, so I'm looking forward to that. You know, I got given opportunities for other ones which I declined because I want to be pushed, and the girl that I've got, she's had 40 fights, she's never been stopped, and been in with the current world champions at super bantam, been in with some top girls, so it's a good fight to get started back with. And then, you know, I'm not even looking, it doesn't have to take me a year, I want it to be as soon as possible. I'm happy to take challenges straight away.
You've been sat, well, you've not been. I was going to say you've been sat on the sofa for 3 years, but you haven't. You've been training, but you've been watching the boxing on TV, and you've seen women's boxing right now. When you look at like way back during 2020 with the lockdown with Terry Harper and Tasha Jonas, Katie Taylor, Serrano, McCaskill, Breakhouse. Now we've got Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields coming in. Women's boxing is on fire. Ebony Bridges and Shannon Courtney as well doing their thing. I mean, I can rattle off. It's every girl that's gone out there. They've put their absolute heart and soul on the line there, and they've produced a good fight. So sitting at home watching these fights, training away, man, how excited are you to finally get there? Honestly, it's watching these girls, it must give you that buzz again, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And obviously when I got my shoulder injury, which was obviously mortifying, because I was about to literally come back, but within that time till now, like you say, it's just gone boom, hasn't it? And to now be getting in the mix and getting in there, I think it's going to be the best time, best opportunities. And you know, female boxing, it's showing of the top levels, aren't we? You know, to know that Savannah's going to be fighting against Clarissa Shields to unify and become a unified world champion. That's the be all and end all, isn't it, of female boxing? So I'm going to be there ringside cheering her on, and then hopefully, you know, I can get in that opportunity and be in them places as well.
Let's talk about then. You know Savannah very well from GB, and obviously coming from the UK. So when I look at the fight itself, I think it has all the makings for a great fight. I mean, we've got Clarissa Shields, it's probably brash is a harsh word, but she's very, very boisterous, and she is brash and stuff like that. So she does come. Savannah's very more reserved and quiet, and lets her fighting do the talking. But then you've got the slick boxing style of Clarissa Shields. You've got that punching power of Savannah Marshall. There's so many dynamics to this fight, so it's got everything. So I know you're probably going to be biased, but how do you see the fight?
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be an awesome fight, and you know, everyone goes on about obviously Sav's power and her strength, but obviously you can't. Clarissa's a double. Oh yeah, she can. She's a great boxer and she's got great skill. So she's got both attributes. And Clarissa, she's a double Olympic champion, multi-world champion. So it's going to be. I think it'll be the biggest fight of the year. And which way is it going to go? Who gets the tactics right? But I personally believe Savannah's going to be too strong for her, and I think she gets one of them shots on her, she's in big trouble. Obviously Clarissa's work rate and her hand speed, that's what Sav's going to have to make sure she deals with. But I think she's a much, from when she beat her in 2012, I was at the World Championships with Sav then, and that was Sav as a young 21-year-old, probably not much self-belief, where I do now think she believes in herself. And you know, me and Tash Jonas would always say, Sav, you are so strong, but I don't think she actually believed it. And I think now, I think she actually, the self-belief is going to help her in her confidence in that fight, and she knows that she's the one that's got the punching power, and she's the one that's going to be hurt, so that she'll hurt Clarissa. So yeah, I think Sav all day long.
I've known Sav for a long time. I've never called her Sav, that was the first time. Savannah,
Sorry.
I'll call her Sav from now on. And I've never seen that side of her when Clarissa was sort of giving her it, and you've seen Sav, I'm calling her Sav now, you've seen Savannah like, be a little bit more talkative.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
You know, so it's that side of Savannah that we've not seen, so it's good to see.
It's great, because like you said, most interviews, right, especially when she started her first pro career, very quiet. She used to say, so she hated interviews, she hated, you know, being in the camera, just not the person she was. But I think now she's matured into, you know, her self-belief, and now I think she does 100% believe in herself. So yeah, she can stand there and go, no, I'm not having that, and she stands up for herself, doesn't she? So probably a bit of a shock to Clarissa, because Clarissa, obviously, she's always been that type of character, hasn't she? And don't get me wrong, it's great for the camera, it's great, but to then get it back was probably a bit of a shock. Definitely.
Well, I do want to touch on it. You said you sparred Molly McCann. Now we see Molly McCann in the UFC, and she's doing her thing, and she's choking people out, and she's doing all this crazy stuff. Now you've sparred her, and I read an article where you said that if she was to put the 8-ounce gloves on, then she can make a go of it in the boxing world. But before we talk about that, how did these spars go?
Oh, it was brilliant. We did a great 10 rounds together. It was brilliant. We sparred before my injury, before her last fight, and then obviously we sparred this time only a few weeks ago. So she was like a couple of weeks out, so was I. So it worked really well because we were both pretty much, you know, priming at that time. So yeah, cracking 10 rounds. She didn't do any spinning elbows at me, so I was lucky. But yeah, it was really good. Cracking 10 rounds. Really enjoyed it.
Did you get the better?
I'd never say that, because obviously we're completely different styles. So, you know, she's a strong girl. She's got that. You can see, obviously, she's got the technique's completely different, isn't it? However, Molly's already had the amateur background as a boxer, so she has got. You know, you can see that in her last fight. I know, obviously, it was a spinning elbow, but then you see the hands rolling afterwards. And I think she'd be cracking if she come back and went and turned pro. Would she need to with what she's doing now? She's bloody amazing, isn't she, in the UFC? So, but if she wanted to, I think she'd give a lot of people some trouble.
We have seen that crossover before. We have seen MMA fighters come over to boxing and boxing guys go over to MMA. So, do you think that one day in the future we could see her in the boxing world?
I think she misses it. That's where she started from, wasn't it? So. But yeah, I wish her all the best. She's an absolute top person, lovely character, dead genuine, and you know, to see what she's accomplishing now, what achieving, and the character and the smile she puts on people's faces, it's brilliant.
Well, her and Paddy Pimblett together, it's just
it's ace.
It's a duo made in heaven, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cracking. It's UFC's just turned into UFC Liverpool now,
exactly.
Hasn't it? They're taking over. So
well, listen, hopefully we can get the two scouts like that can bring in the boxing world and be a boxing Liverpool, because the Smith brothers have been doing their thing and stuff like that, but it's a great fighting city. But for you, you're here in Newcastle in another great working class city, fighting city, Geordie crowd. What can they expect from Lisa Whiteside?
Oh, I can't wait. I just want to get in that ring and get fighting. Obviously I've got an 8-rounder straight away, so I didn't want, you know, a warm-up 6-rounder with a journey woman that I'm going to stop straight away or anything like that. So I've got a good opponent. You know, she's never been stopped in 40 fights, been in with current world champions, one of the current world champions at super bantam as well. So, you know, if I can make a statement, happy days. But if I can, you know, just get them good 8 rounds in, display what I've been working on, and yeah, put on a good performance. And like you say, yeah, there's always that worry of the ring rust, and I'm never going to, you know, if I come out and go, oh gosh, the ring rust was there, I'm never going to use it as an excuse, because I've had loads of rounds of sparring and just want to show what I'm all about.
Definitely. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing this for FL TV. I mean, it's a nice bright day here in Newcastle. Not every time I've been in Newcastle it's either rained or snowed, so I'm glad it's stayed right for us for talking outside. But listen, enjoy today, enjoy the weigh-in tomorrow, and I'll see you fight night. So thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you.
Cheers.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.